Bonjour à tous, hello everybody, I'm Garrett and we're back with our French cheese tour. And today we are returning to the Pays de Brie. The picture of the map here. This specific region is in the central East France, east of Paris, and it was the home of the Brie de Melun, which we covered recently. And today we are looking at the Brie de Melun. And this cheese is made in the Seine-et-Marne region, and also within communes in the Yonne and Aube region. And this cheese is a raw caramel cheese that's made and aged for about 8 to 10 weeks before it's sold. And it's the type of pat mold, which meaning that it's not pressed into the mold, it's or heated when it's made. It's just sort of kind of dropped into it. And it also has a croûte fleurie, meaning that it has that white crust here. It's covered in penicillium bacteria. And this cheese, you'll notice that it's looking a little bit yellow. It's been exposed to a little bit of heat. But the longer the cheese is aged, actually, the more it will get that color. And in fact, it's called vieux brie, which is old brie, that the white will start to gray out almost to a black, and it will become more and more yellow and with time. And the flavors, with the reduction of the water and passage of time, just get stronger and stronger. So this cheese has a long history. At least this one is only about 8 to 10 weeks. I got it at the Fromagerie La Finarde, which is from Arras. You can see the package here. In the market in Wazems and Lille, it comes from the Ferme de Juchy, which is one of 2 farms in the Ile-de-France region that make this cheese. And anyhow, it's a remarkable cheese because, like the Brie de Melun, it has a long history. In fact, some places suggest that it goes back to Roman times. There's a picture of a centurion there. And, you know, the Romans were here in France for a long time. They built such famous sites as the Pont de Garde or the amphitheater in Nimes, and they are reputed to have eaten this cheese. Later, in the literature, there are references to this cheese being eaten by the French king based in Milan, Robert le Pieux. And Robert le Pieux is noted most remarkably probably for his marriages. There's a famous painting of him based in the Musée d'Orsay showing his reputed excommunication by the Pope. That never actually happened, but basically it was suggested so because he eventually married one of his cousins at the time that was also he was godfather to one of the sons of his cousins. So basically her husband had died and he took the opportunity to marry her. That's quite interesting. And then later, this cheese is reputed to have been eaten by Jean de La Fontaine. Jean de La Fontaine is remarkable for his fables. It's a celebrated work in French literature. He was around in the 1600s. And when he went to the famous Chateau Vaux-le-Vicomte, he was reputed to have eaten this cheese and written a fable called Le Corbeau et le Renard. That is, the raven and the fox. Basically, in the fable, the raven's in a tree holding this cheese and his beak, and the fox on the ground starts to flatter the raven. And he talks about how beautiful the raven is, and then basically it says that he wants to hear the raven's voice. And the raven's quite flattered, and so opens his beak and starts to sing, dropping the cheese, in which the fox eats it, and then tells the raven that wisdom is more important than flattery, and that when he hears fine words, he should be careful. So it's one of many fables written by this famous French author in the 1600s. And this cheese, which is 8 to 10 weeks and aged by the time it's sold, receives an appellation origine contrôlée. It's basically a controlled name designation in 1980, and then on the European level it received it in, I believe, 2009. So there you have it. This is a pretty remarkable cheese, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give myself a small cut off the side. So there you go. It's got a on the inside, it's got that firm white center, and then as you get towards the crust, it starts to mellow out a bit. So let's take a piece here and give it a try. It's very salty cheese. That's the first thing I taste. And then when you get the crust, you sort of get a bit of a funk taste, and then it rounds out with the cream and the butter once you taste the inside of the center. And it's very good cheese. On the whole, I think it's a bit stronger than the Brie de Melun, which is another celebrated cheese from this region. But this is an excellent cheese, and this would go well on a baguette or on a sandwich, maybe with a somewhat more mild meat. This is a somewhat strong cheese, again, but very, very good, and definitely one that I'd eat again. So thank you very much for your attention, everybody. If you find this at all interesting, feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Au revoir.